He's been a part of a lot of grassroots development in the Rich Square community area that reached beyond the Rich Square area. I've known him to do a lot of grant writing with the organization. So I think he'll be a great asset to our board as we press reset now.
Okay. All in favor? Nobody saying aye?
Al Faulkner.
Aye. Ayes have it, motion is carried. When is the economic board meeting?
I believe August 15th, 13th.
Yeah, the first meeting is scheduled for August the 13th, which there are currently 5 members on that board. Whose terms expire in 2024 and 25 and 26 respectively.
Thank
Other
you.
questions?
Emergency management matters? Owner?
Good evening, Chairman Tanner.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Faulkner. Commissioner Martin, Attorney McKellar, County Commissioner Phillips, Assistant County Commissioner. I want to say good evening to everybody. I came before you today to talk about the Rich Square Creasy Gymnasium. I know it had been some questions that came up during the board meetings in reference to that facility being identified as a shelter. I have been working hand in hand with Red Cross, and we have identified that as a shelter. Have 2 quotes before you in reference to generators, and I'm asking that the board approve the quote for the Generac generator. That generator would be a good fit, and I got pictures attached to it to go within the chain link fence we have there. And that will be, that generator will be sufficient enough to run that facility as well. And I also wanted to advise the board, I have filed for a grant for the Rich Square Creasy Gymnasium for a shelter capacity grant, which will give us enough funding to add on a kitchen and space for showers. Right now, we do have 1 shower in that facility, and that grant will give us the ability to have a kitchen and an extra shower for men and women. So that would bill us out a lot further than where we are right now, along with a kitchen for feeding and whatnot. So I wanted to make the board aware of that. And I believe it was last month, the question arose again in reference to a shelter for the Lake Gaston community. Now we did visit the Lake Gaston community last year. We talked to quite a few residents, the fire department, pastors, and we talked to, at that time, the president of the Lake Gaston Community Center, and they did approve of that. So we got another meeting set for this Thursday to go back and talk to them again in reference to that. And if we do move forward with the Lake Gaston Community Center, we're going to need a generator for that facility as well. We did have Red Cross go through that building as well, and that is the only thing we're missing up there. So again, I just want to rekindle those relationships. This Thursday at 6 o'clock, we'll be meeting with that community in reference to trying to get that facility as a shelter for the Lake Gaston community.
Let me ask you,
Yes, sir.
had you finished?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, let me ask you about the facility at Rich Square.
Yes, sir.
You said something about a kitchen. Where do you all plan it?
You should have the pictures in your file. Right there under, right there where I'm standing up under the little shelter that you first walk in at. We're proposing to expand right there, and we're gonna have enough, we have enough room to add on right there, adding that portion as a kitchen, and we still will have, you still be able to come out the front there. So that portion right there, we're looking at doing the add-on at that portion.
Oh,
That's what we're proposing.
So you're proposing coming out into the parking lot.
Coming out, we're looking at coming out to the side and having the door where you still can have, where you walk through, you still be coming out into the parking lot you walk through. Let me show you real quick.
Yeah.
That's where we're looking at doing it, and you have, right here, you have doors where you can come in right there. And go through.
what you do with the double door?
The double doors, we're looking at that, we're looking at that as well. Right now, and that's what we're proposing. Right now, if we can get that grant, which, we have everybody's input on that, on where they want it. But to satisfy this grant, we had to have this, we had to have that amount. So nothing in stone, it's just, once we get that funding, we can go there. I talked with James and whatnot, and just told them about it, and right now it's all about securing that grant. But
So
we
as
do
far
have
as the
enough.
breezeway, what does that do for the breezeway?
Right here.
Uh-huh.
You still would have some coming out on the end. That's what I talked about with James. If we came out right here, you still would have some leeway coming out on the end, making the turn. It'd be a little sidewalk coming out. If you came out the front, it'd be a sidewalk coming out the front going this. We did look at the back. We were looking at the back
Because the
there.
back is where we've talked
Yeah,
about
the-
doing
the
another
back was-
facility is the
The
back.
back was kind of tight, but we still, and I think James was looking at doing something in the back, that's why. But depending on if James don't want to use that, we can use that back portion. Again,
Because I know that what I'm thinking about is when they have elections, the citizens pool right there at that breezeway. That's where they come in, and that's how they use the little, what do you call it, the little thing that they roll over to let them know,
Yes,
to
yes,
alert, to let them know that someone's out there.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking further, wondering if the back wouldn't be the better spot if we were looking at a facility on the back end. Then that would be able to tie more into like what's going on out there. I like the idea because they've really been asking.
Because James was looking at having his closet back there. But
Having what?
He was looking at having a space back there, adding on a space back there for equipment, like an equipment closet back there, storage. That's what he was looking at, but we can always revamp and go back and take a look at it.
Yeah, once you,
Little
once you,
like,
once
connection between.
once you get your money, we can really talk about it.
Yes.
But then I think you also need to make sure that we bring in an architect, engineer, either one,
Yeah.
who can stamp the approval on it. So you got your ingress
Yeah,
and so forth, and to meet all the state requirements. That's
sir.
all I ask. Yes, okay. Yeah. Now, I see the $60,000 for the generator. How much money we talking about if you're gonna do, how much you gonna ask for the grant for if you're gonna do the kitchen down there?
we're looking at right over 300,000 for
Okay,
that.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
Board members, you have any questions? You have any questions?
That Generac, it was less than, that was the other one, the Generac less than 60,000, the one that I'm asking for.
Yeah.
It's 29. Mm-hmm. The Generac is less than 60.
Okay, I just saw the one here said 6. Okay. Okay,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
okay, thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Okay, I appreciate it.
And I just wanted to add, just for transparency, the funding would be coming out of the contingency fund because this came up after the budget was submitted for adoption.
Alright.
We have 400,000 in the contingency fund, so we would propose taking 29,000 out of that fund to pay for the generator.
Maybe I should ask this question again. And I thought he was gonna write a grant for the grant generator.
The grant is for the kitchen, am I correct?
In the grant, we let them know we was purchasing a generator for it because right now it is in the shelter until we have that generator on it. It hadn't been designated a shelter until we get that generator.
So in order to be eligible for
Had it.
grant, you have to have
The
the
generator.
facility that fits the
Yes.
criteria.
Okay,
Okay.
Gotcha.
thank you.
Yes, y'all welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. This time we're gonna have the Department of Social Services.
We need to vote on.
Oh, we need to vote on. Okay. We need to vote on his proposal. Generators is what we're talking about. And county manager say you're gonna get have the monies for the generator? Yes. Okay. Didn't the department also receive some grant money not too long ago?
Yes, sir, we did.
Okay, so I'm trying, yeah, that's, and that was like, $19,000. I know, brother, you can't fool me, that's why I know. You got it, you can't fool me. We just got a grant, okay, so I just want you to know, county manager, that, he's got some grant money too. I think he got 2 grants. Yeah, tell us about that, yeah, he got 2 grants, come to think of it, there's 2 grants.
The grants got
It
criteria.
is, yeah, grant, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, you just bear with me, the board, just bear with me. We did get that, we just got the 19 and, the 14.
Huh?
We got that. And we're looking at getting some other things with that. So I'm hoping that the board could just bear with me on that generator because we didn't budget, we didn't put it in the budget. We didn't, on that, those other fundings, we do have that. Some other items set aside for that. That's going to really benefit our citizens here. So that's what I'm hoping.
County manager, better watch him. Watch your money, county manager. Got 2 grants, see, he didn't think I know right now, 114 and 119. Watch your county manager. You know what I'm saying, don't you, man? Yeah, we just gotta keep up with it, that's all. Thank you so much for all that you're doing. We appreciate it. Bring in some more money so we can continue to move this county, okay? At this time, let me go on. Department,
I make a motion
Okay, thank
that we approve the request
thank you.
from the Northampton County Emergency Management to purchase a generator in order to have the Rich Square Creasy Gymnasium serve as a shelter. And the amount of the generator would come from contingency funds.
Second.
Moving proper second that we would, we would take the generator expenses from contingency funds. All in favor of that, please let it known by your sign. Aye.
Hi, Faulkner.
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Thank you, Mr. Burnett, you got it. Social Services,
Good evening, Chairman.
Evening.
Good evening, Chairman Tyner,
yes.
Vice Chair Faulkner, Mr. Martin, Mr. County Manager, Ms. Assistant County Manager, Ms. Finance Officer, Mr. Attorney. Today I stand before you to request, I'm gonna read it to you. The Northampton County Department of Social Services has been contracting with Johnson Personnel Consulting Incorporation for more than 20 years. Ms. Johnson is requesting that her monthly retainer fee be $250 be increased to $300. I have attached the agreement for the provision of professional counseling services for your review. I am recommending that Ms. Sylvia Johnson's request be granted. This increase will fall into the budgeted amount. Thank you.
Board members, she's coming asking for this person to get $50 more dollars a month. What is your pleasure?
Make a motion, we approve the additional $50 a month
Okay.
retainer fee.
Second.
Proper second. We will increase the amount that we're paying the consultant. Are you ready for your question? If so, all in favor, let know about you sign aye.
Hi, Faulkner.
Aye.
I've had motion is carried.
Thank you.
That's all you got?
Well, it's,
Have a good day.
I would like to make one quick statement that's not here on the agenda. We do have a child, you know, I always tell y'all when we have children, we have a child that we're getting ready to move to South Carolina. So we will be paying for social workers to go to South Carolina as well. Wasn't budgeted for, and on Wednesday, we might get custody of another one. And I hate that, but just want to let you know.
Do
Okay.
follow the law. Follow the law. Now we shall, we have the open presentation, Hertford, Northampton County. Local Crisis Coalition.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
We come before you tonight as representatives of the Hertford Northampton Opioid Crisis Coalition, which is also HNOCC is what we call it. This group is a group that meets monthly and we have for several years now, and it has representation from emergency management, ECU Roanoke-Chowan Hospital, Northampton County Schools, our EMS Community Paramedicine Program, RCCHC, which is the Roanoke-Chowan Community Health Center, the Health Department, Trillium, and Port. So it's a wide variety of representation across the two counties, Hertford and Northampton. And in this presentation tonight that Michelle, I'm going to let her introduce herself, but she will go over some of the things that we have done with our organization, as well as some of the data that is related to North Carolina and Northampton County specifically.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Michelle Lewis. I'm the Director of Population Health and Value-Based Care at Roanoke-Chowan Community Health Center in Ahoskie. So we're the local community health center for 5 counties. And we also have a site in Woodland where Dr. Navarro provides primary care services to the citizens of that county. Took Dr. Stanley's place when he retired. So as Megan informed you, this coalition really has come together. It is a collective across agencies, public, private, nonprofit, to address the opioid epidemic in our community. So what you're looking at and what you have included in your packet is actually the presentation that we provide to churches when they invite us, any other community centers that want information in regards to opioids, the epidemic, and how that's impacting the community. So I will walk you through each of the pages. I don't want to insult your intelligence in regards to opioids or those type things. So you can look at that information in terms of just informational regarding what an opioid is and the definition of opioid use. If you would like me to discuss any of those things more in detail, I will be more than happy to do so, or if you have questions in regards to any of the slides. But the information includes just the definition of opioid. Oh, a clicker. I'm sorry. I didn't know I had to have the clicker in. There we go. Okay. So it goes into just an overview of opioid use and what the signs of that looks like, and the results of use being dependence, increased tolerance, which increases the overdoses in the community. And then also illicit drug use when there's more need for the medication and they can't get it by prescription from a doctor, then they'll turn to alternative methods like injectable heroin and things that are illicit and illegal across the community. So again, the next slide is really looking at the opioid withdrawal symptoms and what that looks like if you see someone experiencing that. I think, as everyone is aware, the public health emergency was just renewed by DHHS and on June 25th due to the increased rates of opioid related deaths in our community. as of, I actually updated this, so you have data from 2016, but as of 2023, provisional data from the CDC states that over 81,000 people died from overdoses of opioids. So as you can see, that's a 2 times increase since 2016, just in 7 years. And again, it's the PHE has been renewed every year since that time. There's 3 different waves of opioid overdose deaths, that it goes all the way back to 1989 when pain was added as the 5th vital sign. And that's significant because when pain was added as a vital sign, it increased the prescriptions of opioids that were provided by doctors across the country. And every year since 1989, we've seen increased waves of death that are due to heroin overdose. And then the last and final wave in 2013 was the rise in synthetic opioid deaths, such as fentanyl and carfentanil, that we're seeing more and more of in this community as well. The next slide is just an illustration of the strength of fentanyl and carfentanil. Fentanyl was 100 times stronger than morphine. Carfentanil is 10,000 times stronger than morphine. And over to the right, it's kind of hard to see with the colors. I need to fix that. But you see the penny, and carfentanil that can kill you is a little dot to the right of the penny. That is why there are so many people that are dying of drug overdoses, because that little bitty speck can cause an overdose. And then we go over and review some signs of an overdose. If EMS or just a layperson on the street responds to overdose, and how to respond to an overdose. So again, as I'm reviewing this with you all, imagine us in the community presenting this information, community education, what to do if you find someone that's overdosed and how to respond to that. So that's a piece of what we do as a coalition, and educating the community and organizations so that they can respond and feel like they have more knowledge about the epidemic that is local to us. Naloxone, I'm hoping everyone has heard of that, and that helps to reverse the signs of an, or not the signs of overdose, but an actual overdose, and is used widely in Northampton County. And I'll be sharing some statistics that EMS here in Northampton County has provided us as they serve again on the coalition. This slide talks about the bystanders being nearby, and 69% of those fatal overdose events. And then at that time, only 26% of folks were actually provided or delivered naloxone that could save their life. So one of the goals of this coalition is to really increase naloxone access to lay community members, as well as providing EMS services, naloxone supply that we are able to obtain through grants and other funding sources. This slide is really just giving you a shot and overview of the North Carolina emergency medical services and the suspected overdoses, which is 1,076 as of June 2023. You can see the dates or the numbers for the years prior to that being 759 and 719 all the way back to 2020. So we continue to see an increase in the use of EMS services to address opioid overdoses. And Northampton County EMS actually responded to 13 overdoses in 2023 as a whole. This slide looks at the amount of emergency departments and the burden of overdoses on our emergency departments for overdose. And Vidant Health, Hertford County, from January to April of this year in 2024, they've already had 13 overdoses respond to their medical facility in Ahoskie. Northampton County has had, and EMS has had 38 where the EMS has been dispatched. 38 of those have resulted in ED visits, and that is year to date for through June 2024. And again, you can see the dramatic increase. It's already 3 times the rate it was in 2023. And we're only halfway through the year. And the next slide really looks at fatalities and what that looks like in regards to folks that succumb to overdose and then ultimately die from that. And year to date for Northampton County is 6 citizens. I will say as well, anyone who deals with data, and you all do on a regular basis, know that this trickles in at a very slow pace. So the likelihood that this will be higher 6 months from now is very likely because of the medical exams that have to go on and then the data rolling in after they can confirm the death due to overdoses. So then this slide is really looking at all of the initiatives that this coalition provides and works to deliver to our community. So one of the latest things that we're able to do is to provide fentanyl test strips to our community. Let me start here. So our funding it's totally from grants. Everyone that participates on this coalition is volunteering their time because of the knowledge and the awareness and the desire to address the opioid epidemic and overdoses in our community. So everything that we're able to provide is donated through time, and then we obtain funding through any grants that we can locate to help support the efforts that we know will help the community. So fentanyl test strips is a big part of that. People testing medications because we know that things are laced with fentanyl and people will overdose if they get, someone may think that they're taking a Xanax that's been prescribed and they bought a Xanax, but it may be laced with fentanyl, and then that will result in an opioid overdose death. Marijuana, cocaine, all of your drugs can be laced or mixed with fentanyl. And so this test strip will enable folks to test their drug and to assure that there is no fentanyl present in there. So that was one of our latest acquisitions that we were able to provide due to a grant, actually through our community health center applied for the grant. We delivered medication drop boxes where people can lock up their medication, which is essential. Majority of the overdoses, accidental overdoses that occur in the home occur from children getting into the medications of their parents, of their grandparents. And so when we can do education about locking the medication up and the importance of that, then that will help as well. So we were able to distribute medication drop boxes. We distributed about 1,200 across Hartford and Northampton County, and they were about $30 a piece, give or take. That was very well received in the county. Again, grant funded. We participate in medication take back days where we're getting the medication that people aren't using that's sitting in their medicine cabinets, again, to prevent the overdoses, bring them back in, let us destroy them for you. So we participate in that. Again, education and prevention with various members, anyone that will invite us to come and talk. We participate at local celebrations like the Northampton County July 4th celebration, so we can provide resources and information as folks come up and speak to us at a table as they're walking through. Promote naloxone awareness and providing, again, our local EMS, sheriff and police departments with naloxone to provide so that they have it in the community. And then deactivation kits for medication. So we teach people how to deactivate their medicine. They can't bring it in. We have little packets where they can dump the medicine in and can destroy the medicine. But again, that's all that education piece and then really understanding where the overdoses happen. We partner with other agencies like Albemarle Regional Health to provide opioid training. And that was successful. We did that at Chowan University last year. And so that, again, that was extremely well received and free to the community as well. This is just a picture of the medicine drop that I was referring to. And so you can see the middle pictures where people will actually go and leave their medicine that they want to be destroyed. And then the pharmacist that's responsible for that will has to take an inventory and log it and destroy the medication and provide it to the local medical board. So that's just again, an overview of what we do as an agency, or not as an agency. I represent an agency, but as a coalition. I hope this was helpful. We appreciate any support, any questions, any advertising of the resources that we provide and education we can provide. Is there any additional questions or anything that I could possibly answer?
Board members, you have any questions? Just want to thank you for what you're doing. Board members, I do want you to know that before the legislators left in Raleigh about 2 weeks ago, I had a question asked me from one of the legislators. Do we need any more monies in Northampton County for this problem? And I said, of course, said yes. I can't promise you, but it looked like we might have a few more dollars if they ever come back to approve the budget. Okay, in this area. Just wanted you to know, especially the health department, that we would have some more, it looked like a few more dollars to spend in there. Just wanted the board members too. They had asked me, certainly when they say money, right down my line. So we need all we can. Prevention is what we want to do. We know it's not as bad in Northampton County as it is in some other places around us. But what we got to do, we got to be right on top of it. I really want to know, what are you doing with the school system? Are you involved with the school system and helping our young people to understand the urgency of this information?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Oh, do you want to answer? Yeah, so go ahead. Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
I was gonna say, we work really closely with the school nurses in all of the schools. And they also do first aid, first responder training. One of the initiatives that we're trying to do is provide naloxone to the schools so that she can go to the first responder groups there within the school so that they can do that. But as far as education, same thing as, yes, go into the early education, try to hit them as young as you can, because if you can educate them when they're young, then you can hopefully make a better impact when they are older.
I hate to do all the talking, but I certainly hope that you all will do more in our education system for our children. I really wish, I don't know what we need to do. We need to have a person who will go in the school system, working with the superintendent and even with the curriculum. But this is so important for us, for Northampton County.
We had on tap to have somebody come in, a user or a used to be user, to come in and talk to the kids, and then COVID hit. And everything just kind of went to the wayside, but we have not forgotten about those things. And we do hope to, with the new school year coming up, that we can get back to some of those initiatives.
Please do.
Well, it hit my family this year. So I lost a cousin. And it's impacted the youth because she was very well loved by a lot of children that are in the schools. And so the awareness, we did have an event in Rich Square. It's been rescheduled due to weather, but it will be September the 7th. So if you're able to have a booth there to share some information, it's called Liberation Day. And I'll send the vendor information to you, Ms. Fig.
And we actually have, one of our members is our health educator, and she was on tap to go.
We're
this
just
past
waiting for
weekend.
the
So she-
redate.
Yes,
and the
so she
date.
will be there.
So I do thank you for what you're doing to make awareness, and some of those resources there could be very helpful for a lot of people. I think some people are being given things that they think is one thing and it's another.
In other comments? Thank you all. Thank you so much for what you're doing. Just continue the good work. Our young people need you. One is one too many. One too. Continue on.
So I come to you tonight with a couple of agenda items. The first that I have is a contract for Aetna insurance. As you all know, the Blue Cross Blue Shield lost the bid for the state insurance. So January the 1st, it will switch over to Aetna. So that includes all your state employees, your retirees, and your education. So it will not impact we will still be with Blue Cross Blue Shield. I've had a lot of people ask me, so I do want to say that. But as far as moving to Aetna, this is going to be a big change to people around here. So we wanted to make sure that we were ahead of the ball and go ahead and get credentialed with them so that we can accept that insurance and be able to see those patients.
Board members, you have a contract. And I see the attorney has already looked at it. So that our health department can go on and do whatever it needs to do to be prepared for the new insurance company. What is your pleasure?
Make a motion that we approve the health department's request to enter into a contract with Aetna for the purpose of establishing participation as a provider.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Move the proper second that we will go with Aetna as our insurance
Provider.
provider.
We
Yeah,
have to be a provider.
yeah, provider. Okay, for socials,
Yeah.
for health department. Are there any other questions, other discussion? Thank you. Okay, all in favor, let know by usual sign aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Aye. Let's have a motion is carried.
Okay. The next item I have is the Child Fatality Prevention Team Annual Report. And the purpose of our local CFPT is to identify deficiencies in the delivery of services to children and families by public agencies, make and carry out recommendations for changes that will prevent future child deaths, and promote understanding of the causes of child deaths. So the team is mandated through several general statutes that deal from notification of death to disposition of burial. And it is also mandated that an annual report is submitted to the state and to local governing boards through Article 14, 7B-1406. In your packet, you will see our annual report that shows that for the year 2023, because you always report a year behind, the year 2023, the Northampton County CFPT reviewed 2 child deaths and identified 0 system problems and recommendations for future prevention efforts. In the past year, we also did training on burn safety, safe sleep practices, and water safety.
Were there any recommendations of any changes?
No, there were no findings identified, not with these. No, sir.
This annual report, board members, do we need a motion on this? We do? Okay. Could I have a motion that we accept the report?
Make a motion that we accept the annual Northampton County Child Fatality Prevention Team's annual report, fiscal year 24.
Second.
Move proper second that we will accept the report. All in favor, the known by usual sign aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Ayes have it, the motion is carried.
The next item on the agenda that I brought to you is the 2023 State of the County Health Report, which is our SOCH. And you will see that on an annual basis, the Northampton County Health Department systematically develops a SOCH report. The consolidated agreement between the state of North Carolina and local health departments requires local health departments to submit a comprehensive community health assessment, or CHA, every 4 years or 3 years if you were doing it on a regional basis, which now we are doing that. So this will show you statistics. Statistics are obtained from platforms such as the State Center of Health Statistics, North Carolina, NCDHHS 2023 Behavioral Health Convening, US Census Bureau, and our 2021 Community Health Assessment. This will be our last SOTch in this cycle. We are working on now, I'm sure you've seen advertisements that we were taking information and asking people to fill out the survey that was online for our 2024 Community Health Assessment. So this is the last one, kind of a report of what we will be doing with our 2021 CHA.
Well, members, you've heard this report. Are there any questions? All I can tell you, it seems as though everybody whom you supposed to report to, every evaluation, our health department is really good. I want to commend you.
Thank you.
Commend your health department for that. See, here's another report that doesn't list anything that we, health department is not doing that it should do. And I just think that it's just great. Almost could I have you at this time to approve the CHOPS progress report is given to us by CHOPS.
Make a motion, we approve the health department SOTch report as presented.
Second.
Proper second, we approve that report. All in favor, known by you sign aye.
Al Faulkner.
Aye.
Let's have motions carried.
And this is not in your packet, but I did want to give you an update. I spoke with Mr. Phillips earlier today. He was involved in one of our meetings, and you all maybe have seen the press release that our agency has put out regarding the South Hill, the fire that occurred in South Hill, and just wanted to let you know that our agency has been in contact with the appropriate local, state, and North Carolina state and Virginia state authorities to make sure that we're monitoring the situation, and we are going to be alerting the citizens of any new information that comes up. As of today, they have not seen where any of the impacts, the chemical plume has not reached North Carolina, has not reached Northampton County yet. So when we find out that it has, or any of the test results come back from the water testing, then we'll certainly alert our citizens so that they can be aware. Any questions on that?
What methods of alerting the citizens do you plan to use?
So I know this press release was shared with the newspapers. It's on social media. It's on our webpage. It was shared to all of our county employees to share out to their avenues. We're also going to be making physical postings at the public accesses in like around that area where the North Carolina and Virginia meet at Lake Gaston. And I think that's it right now.
Will you look at using Tony Burnett and the emergency management? They have a system.
We talked about that.
That can inform about,
Mm.
and most folks got these phones, you know that they got them, they ain't got nothing else. So all I'm saying to you, that's another way, if it comes out that we need to let citizens know immediately. Okay, thank you.
My reason for asking is we're a tourist area this time of the year.
Mhm.
And I just want to make sure that those visiting our beautiful area do have a way of knowing if there are any potential risks out there.
We are, I mean, if you have any other suggestions that, we
I
can.
think the posting is
Yeah.
good, a way to have a physical posting
Yeah.
at least our public access. We can't go into everybody's subdivision and do those things, but at least where corners, something that's where publicly we can share that.
And there is a website that at the bottom of that release, it had a QR code and a website that DEQ, Virginia DEQ is updating. And anytime that they have anything new that is updated. So we're trying right now to alert everybody to go visit there because that's going to be your most up-to-date information anyway right now. But as it does reach the hope is as it reached North Carolina into Northampton County and surrounding counties, that it's going to dilute. So it won't be as hazardous, obviously, once it gets, excuse me, to us. But we'll be able to update, as it progresses
I know I was hearing questions about people with well water,
with well water.
with the well water being impacted.
We did ask that question. They said they do not have any indication that it would affect anybody's groundwater at this time.
I noticed Saturday night, I know this is Halifax County, but the Weldon boat landing, there were people swimming in the water and fishing after this alert had already been put out. And I thought, why is there nothing posted at the site? So
Right.
if you do that at our landings, that would be good.
And I will tell you, and I spoke with Mr. Phillips about that, because there were a lot of other community pages that had already started posting some of this information. We chose not to post anything until we got official results from NCDEQ and Virginia DEQ, because we want to make sure, number one, all of our county resources and pages were providing factual information and it was consistent. So, because the stuff that I was seeing that was being shared, it was not. It was, Halifax County, it's already in Lake Gaston, or it's already reached Maharon, and we wanted to make sure, and our call was today. And once we got that information, we decided it would be best to wait till we got that factual information. But we will be posting those tomorrow, the physical copies at the public accesses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keep us informed if we need to be.
Well.
Keep our county manager informed. You will let us. Thank you so much. Okay.
Good evening, Board, County Manager, Ms. Satia, Ms. Kenya. I just stand before you tonight, I think, as a point of clarification on our need to meet the expense for our solid waste pickup. And we have a notification prepared that can be sent out if there are not other avenues of notifying the public about this potential increase.
Yeah, I saw it in the paper. I read it.
Or they were talking about potential in the paper. Didn't vote on it.
I didn't put it in the paper. I got plenty of calls this weekend about it. Yes, sir. But, but I didn't,
Yeah, propose, yes.
yeah, I certainly didn't put it there. And, but, the facts, as stated are there before you. So.
I have a concern. When we received our monthly or bi-monthly at some points, fiscal reports, we were always told that it was running this way because we had done a bulk payment. We were not given any information to indicate that we would be running in arrears or running in the red. And as a part of if we tell citizens we're reducing taxes, and then something that comes in as a part of their tax bill, the solid waste fee, or they're paying it that way, or water bill, or whichever one it comes on, it seems like you're giving me here, but then you're taking away there, and then it wasn't a part of the hearing process. So that's I feel like I wasn't informed enough that this was something that was going to be in the negative throughout the year. And if we were running that far behind, I feel like we should have been, this shouldn't have been a surprise for us at the 12.5 hour, because we had already voted on our budget. So that's my concern.
I can agree with her that was a surprise, and I don't know, maybe Brooke, our finance person, we do know that we keep that figure in there, and I guess that figure every month is the same. Because it's a lump sum that we pay. But it seems as though we got ready to pay more than what we had in that budget item. And I just think that, yeah, I agree with you that there's nothing we can do about it. It's there, but it's something we can do about it in the next budget. And the way it is written up in the agreement that we have is that there could be an increase according to some data that the state put out.
Consumer prices.
Consumer crack price, yes, that's in it. That goes up, then it goes up. And I think that to hear what you're saying is correct, but we have no other way of paying it. That's the kind of thing that you pay for, and we don't get a thing out of it. County doesn't get a thing out of it. And everything has really gone up that we didn't go with the taxes in Northampton County. Probably the only one around here that didn't do that had a decrease at least. But at any rate, I think you said to us that perhaps it would be a $30 year increase.
It would be $2.97. No, I'm sorry, $2.93 a month.
$2.93. That's what I'm. $2. Say it again. 30 what? Okay, thank you. And I just don't know anything we can do about it, just in kind of managing next year, finance person. Y'all need to keep up with this thing every month and just don't assume that it's gonna equal out to what we have in the budget for. But again, this is a come out and it's, we don't make anything from it. It all goes to the company that provide the service. And I don't know when that contract is up. But,
I believe that contract is up next at the end of June of 25.
yes,
And Mr. Phillips and the Assistant County Manager, Ms. Satia, we are, of course, working on a request for pricing for that service, not to just renew a contract, but we are looking at a RFP for that service.
and the service that we have is the best, I think. Cause they come by and pick it up, they pick up. Come by and pick it up, rather than having a place in each community where people go and carry the trash all up and down the road, hiring 3 or 4 people. We gotta man that operation. Gotta have a truck, gonna move it from that place to wherever they're going in Raleigh. So it's about to be a no-win situation. But and that business is just about in the hands of one person, one company who has monopolized it all the way from here, all over the state. Which we can open it up, but that green truck is everywhere. And I agree with you. I have to agree with you that it's come as a surprise to us that we gotta do this and have not had a discussion, at least a discussion. But right now where we are, we have no other choice but to have no other choice. I wish we did. We have no other choice. I just say to you all, please monitor this every month. Somebody let this go. It need to be monitored every month. In and out, see where you are. instead of giving us a report. I know I'm going over and over, I
Oh,
know,
no, you're
but I'm
fine.
old enough to do it, okay? Just give us a report saying, this is the amount here, this doesn't change, because this is what we got in the budget, and it don't come out at a certain time of the year, but at any rate, it's gotta be a month to month, finance department. With you all, it's gotta be a month to month,
Yes, sir.
so they won't run into $100,000 that we owe them. Okay. I don't see no other way out of it. I really don't. This- yeah.
So how, I guess this is an attorney question because he had to step out, so he wasn't able to be here. When we got to this part on the agenda. If it's supposed to be a part of our budget resolution, then how do we address this?
Well, if that's the case, then, I mean, you have no choice at this point but to go back and amend it.
Budget amendment.
Yeah.
Do you know what that budget amendment will look like, County Manager?
I do not have that before me right now.
I would ask you, I'm in order.
All you're doing is, when you do that budget amendment, you're gonna increase revenue, increase expense, so net zero.
But I want
It's
to know,
just you're accounting for the increase and the additional revenues.
my question again is, do we need to do it tonight?
If we can, yes, because the longer we delay, the tax department needs to know what the amount is to state on the tax bill. And I believe they put that bill out in August.
Hey, board members, you've heard the explanation that was given. It's not that we did use that money for other purposes. That money's are in and out. We did not figure on it being that amount. We know that was certain state, out, but not keeping up with, caught up with. As a water department, y'all need to keep up with this. Ever have this again, say that to you. We don't like this, it's really putting us in a situation we don't like, but, you know, we understand things happen. So at this time, board member, what is your pleasure?
I have to ask a question. Do we have an arrears that we have to fix and then plan for an increase for the upcoming year? Is it two parts?
I know that the budget was in the red this year. This increase does not address that shortfall in last year's budget. This addresses the need for this year's budget.
Did you have enough in last year in your budget to take care of last year?
I am not sure how last year's budget was closed. I honestly do not. I would have to.
So I'm hearing you say you were in arrears.
It is my understanding
Meaning
that
that
the
your
solid
budget
waste,
did not have adequate funds in the line
yes,
over the expense as of June 30.
that is my understanding.
You're not aware of where the funds came from to make that balance out.
No, I am not.
Okay, I know we have a amendment in here for the fiscal year 24 closeout. Is that a part of
That
that?
does not address that, no. And we're still going through the process. We're not complete with 2024 yet.
Still, was there enough money in that line item left over in in the total line item for water. And so,
See, it's difficult to say that right now until we're finished with all the final adjustments. I need to
Alright.
get all the final adjustments in to see how each fund balances out. I don't want to say that water has enough to give
I'm
to
just
solid
asking,
waste.
so that we don't have to.
Yeah, this would, of course, would be the solid waste budget and not the water or the wastewater. Want to clear that up for anybody listening. This has nothing to do with water rates, nothing at all to do with the water rates.
I understand that. I was just saying, when we had the money in the budget. Oh. But county manager, will you bring us back a report, our next meeting, how we gonna solve this situation? We know we gotta solve it. You don't need to sit here and talk about how sad we are. We gotta solve. Okay? Will you bring back to us plan or whether we doing at the end of the year, where you gonna take monies that were left over, where you gonna take for the fund balance, or how you gonna resolve it? And then tell us what we got to have for this year to make sure that we don't run. Okay? We could sit here and be, that make us feel good, but sit here all night and talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you'll work with the county manager and you all come up with our next meeting, so we'll move, so that, so the tax department will know what they need to do. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. At this time, we shall have the tax department.
Good evening. Evening. I am before you with 3 items on the agenda, items to bring before you this afternoon. The first item is to obtain the board's approval for a late application for property tax relief for Mr. Johnny Black and Ms. Sasate Hadu. They have requested an appeal to the Board of Commissioners for a late application. It is my understanding that they do meet the necessary requirements.
Okay. Well, members, could I have a motion that we follow the recommendation coming from the health department?
Tax.
From the tax department, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Have given us a recommendation.
They're requesting the old age disability exclusion to be applied because they fit the criteria.
Yes, ma'am. And I had to bring it before you all because it's after June 1st.
I make a motion that we approve the application for old/age disability exclusion for Mr. Johnny Black and Miss Sarte Hadar. As they've met the criteria for those good cause.
Second.
Proper second that we will have them exempt as given to us. Age, disability. Are there any questions, discussion? All in favor, nobody should sign aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Ayes.
Okay. The next item I have before you to obtain your approval for 1 ad valorem tax appeal in the amount of $361.63.
Okay, got it. One members, what is your pleasure?
Make a motion, we approve the tax appeal in the amount of $361.63.
Second.
Second.
In proper second, we will approve the tax appeals coming to us. Are there any questions? Discussion? If not, all in favor, nobody should sign aye.
Faulkner.
Aye.
Let's have it, motion is carried.
The last item I bring before you this evening is to have your approval on 15 motor vehicle tax appeals. They total $1,869.93.
Make a motion, we approve the 15 motor vehicle tax appeals in the amount of $1,869.93.
Second.
Proper second, we will Approve these appeals as given to us. Are there any questions? Not all in favor, known by you, sign aye.
Faulkner,
Aye.
Let's have it. Motion is carried.
Thank you very much.
And then,
Good evening, everyone. I will be presenting one budget amendment for your consideration on this evening. This would be considered the budget amendment number 101. And this is a budget amendment that was prepared for the fiscal year 24 year-end cleanup that we normally do present. And this was just in addition to the adjustments to ensure that there were no accounts in the deficit for year end. That is the only budget amendment that I have to present this evening.
you need these are the things that you need to clear up your books.
Yes, sir.
Okay, for the end of the year.
And we have already started working on our audit for fiscal year 24.
I need just to ask this. So our budget, I see one of his auditor's fee. We didn't have it in our budget.
Which one are you looking at?
The
professional fees.
Fees audit.
It's not that it wasn't in the budget. I believe for every one of these organization codes, we just selected an account to increase that budget because the way that the budget is presented is by organizations or by departments on the ordinance. And if you don't have the department balance at year end, you get dinged on your audit. So basically you need to make an adjustment, and it could be in any line item, so that the particular department is in the black and not in the red.
Understand that part. My question is, we didn't have that in the budget.
It's not that. We just selected that account within that organization because that organization was in the red.
So if I'm hearing you correctly, the total appropriation credits could have come from varying different ways that we had approved budget amendments throughout the fiscal year.
Correct.
Now it needs to be put in the proper department
Correct.
in order to clear. If it's possible, could we have these lines separated by the department so we know, because it's just saying like contracted services, like what contracted services? Contracted consultant services. And that 70, like where is that coming from? Is that something that's coming from contingency? So it would be good if it's like total appropriation for the credit. Which one of those lines there is this 170?
We have another report, which is a much more detailed report by particular department. And I basically told Ms. Kenya that y'all probably wouldn't want to see it because it was too much detail, so we took it out. We can add that back to the report.
And it seems like we're gonna have to have another one because we have to clear up.
Yes, we're just in the starting phase.
So when we
And
get the next one, can we have this one, even though it's the same information, just present it differently? So that then that question that says, okay, I thought we had paid a budgeted to audit, but that would be under the already appropriated, with just kind of putting them in their information in their box. Would that be okay?
yes.
If not,
You need
Yeah,
to.
well, 'cause-
However you want it.
it's not feasible.
We can dice it up however.
Because I'm,
It doesn't,
Cause I think you had to do it because they balanced, so
Right.
you had to
right.
add your totals that came from there. And we did it on the spreadsheet, she probably just.
she has,
put it a
she
different
has,
way.
she has the
Yeah.
spreadsheet by department.
She's
And
so
then you
simple.
can see how I looked at it. I looked at each department and I said, all right, well, I'm gonna take this account, put it in this account. So those particular accounts, it's not that those line items were in negative, it's the department as a whole.
So the number on the left, 11,430,370, for example, that has two different codes in the second column. Is that 11,430,370 a department number?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I just don't know the department that coincides with that one. I would like to know what that. So
Okay.
Put my math hat on and see what you do.
Okay.
So it'd just be good to know which ones that we have to go into contingency.
That's fine.
Sure you got it?
I'm positive. I told her to take it out because it was too much
No,
detail.
you're probably right. But I'm just going by what I'm looking at, you know, no, yeah, okay. Thank you. Any other questions about it? You got any questions?
No.
Oh, you understand it, you're smart.
I just like to see the detail. I agree with you.
Okay,
I make a motion, we approve budget amendment 101.
Second.
our second budget amendment is given to us. Any questions? If not all in favor, let it be known by usual sign aye.
I thought.
Aye.
Aye, ayes have, motion carried. Now y'all can go and clear out your books and give us explanation on the road, okay? At this time, we do note our county manager, are there any remarks you want to make at this time?
I don't have anything additional. Just want to thank everyone for coming out again, showing your interest and really appreciate I'm sure they're not on the line, but the auditors for making the portal available to us. They've been really working with us to get this audit done on time. So we really appreciate that. And y'all have a good night. Get home safely.
Right.
Thank everybody for coming out tonight and be careful if you're outside in this heat.
I'm telling you.
I did some yard work Saturday and it about wore me down.
Okay. That's yeah.
Thank everyone for your presence and your thoughts. Rich Square, we did plan for Liberation Day on this past Saturday. It was last minute when we canceled it because the weather report on Friday was saying it was gonna rain all day long. And then it was a beautiful day. However, around the time the parade would have been going on, there was a nice big tree that fell down right at the corner of Main, the light closest to the drugstore area. And the lights were out for a while. Can you imagine if it had that 100-degree weather and citizens weren't able to stay cool? So I'm thankful to hear from the emergency management about making Rich Square a location, the Creasy Center. We think about tropical storms and things like that, putting out the light, but a tree could put the lights out in very high temperature, which creates an emergency. And to have a place where a generator can pop on and keep the citizens cool while they're waiting, because the temperature like that can be detrimental to elderly and people that don't have air conditioners in their home. So I'm thankful to see that coming back as an emergency shelter. Again, it'll be September 7th, same time, same place. That we will come together again as a county to try to have Liberation Day once again. Yeah. And thank you all again for coming out. Definitely stay cool and watch out for your elderly citizens.
Thank you. To all of you that have come tonight, thank you for coming and being a part of us tonight. We worked real hard to try to make sure that we can do what we can do for citizens of Northampton County. I just want to make sure that everybody understands there's some things we can do there's some things we cannot do. We do that we can do. Everything is not in our hands. I think so, but it's not. But we are doing everything we possibly can do for the citizens of our county that's in our hands. Let me also thank this, our administration, closing out the year, trying to close out a year. It's not easy closing out a year. Finance, I mean, thank your department. I know you all trying to close out the year. We won't try to give you a hard time. We just trying to get an understanding. But we want to thank you for that. I want to say to all of the people who are employed by Northampton County, just glad to have you aboard for another year. We look forward you continue to working and making Northampton County all that it needs to be. We have not arrived yet. We're still making strides. We're still trying to do all we can to enhance this Northampton County. We would like for our county manager to let us know when we will have our meeting, our commissioners meeting in the new courthouse. If you would please let us know. I'd like to have one meeting there for my time is up. If you would let us know, if you could rush that right along so that we can know that we'll be there. Likewise, as all of you see, the courthouse, they still doing some things in the courthouse, electronic things, I believe, that's going on. But also note that they're coming along with the second building. They are beginning now to put the walls up. We're hoping by December, January, everybody will be moved into those spaces. That we will have a new kind of thing going on in Northampton County. We're proud of how it looks up there, but it's even gonna look better. Got some more struggles, some other kinds of things they gotta do up there. We are really proud of it. Let me say it one more time. Northampton County taxpayers, you have not had a dime of your money that you pay in taxes in Northampton County in that building. I get so tired of that. Y'all just using our taxpayers. That money did not come from Northampton County. I said it over and over. I'm saying it one more time. Not a dime of that money has come from the taxpayers of Northampton County through our tax department. Yes, it's come from the state and it's come from the federal. Courthouse, state, the other building, state and federal. They're the ones who made this possible. So just let me say that, and I guess I have to continue to say it, but that's where it comes from. We're gonna ask at our next meeting too, that we can ask our economic development to please bring us an update on the projects that we have. The water, which everybody's calling me about, the water, phase 6, the sewer, lake, from Gaston to the lake, to the lake. Then likewise, we want to know about where we are with the center that we plan to do at the lake, where we are on those items. We also know that we, the building, jail that they had, the prison that they had, Oldham belong to us now. And I believe we finally got a deed to it. Am I right? We finally got a deed to it. And there are 1 or 2 descriptions on it, and we're gonna look at those. It's nothing really binding other than we gotta use it for our use. And we're gonna ask you to likewise bring us a report on how we can use those 9 houses to what we can do to have those 9 houses available for us. And I see you, social service lady already saying to you, I need one of them. Tell her put some money there. Ask the state to put some money there, and we'll make it work.
We can breathe.
Yeah, we can make it. We got to do it. We got to do it. That's why we do it in Northampton. So I just want you to know that we're moving forward. County manager, be encouraged, continue to move us the way we're moving. And I want to say how appreciative we are of what you're doing for us. Board members, you know that it's coming up that the State Commissioners Association, I need to say it, I guess, when all the board members are here, but we need to have some representation at our state meetings and at our local meetings. All of you know that I've represented you, and because a lot of you are working, you can't do it. I know that, I understand you working and you can't take off, but if we can let it go around, then perhaps all of you, we will have representation. That representation is really important for us, for grants, and anything else that we want to do. So I just want you all to know you're the only one here, Commissioner. We need to be talking to, we'll be moving on, but we need to know those meetings are really important. We need you, not putting no pressure on, we need you and others to do all you can to represent us and work with our clerk to the board so she can do all she needs to do for reservations for those meetings. Those are the things that I know tonight. Thank you all again for coming. We love Northampton County. It's a place we love. We're doing everything we can for Northampton County. Just ask for your continued prayers, all of us, as we make those decisions. Pray for us personally, our health, strength. And that's all the preaching I'm gonna do tonight. After this time, could I have a motion?
Closed session.
We need that. Closed session.
Make a motion to be adjourned.
Second.
Move the prop second turn, all in favor, no, by you sign aye.
I Faulkner.
Aye, as have a motion, is carried. Thank you so much. Look, I gotta ask you too.